So you want to know more about Yrrl. Yurrl. Do you like... Wait! Hold on, wrong hero. There we go. Do you like chandeliers? And do you like chillin' in the solo lane? Then Yrrl, the light of hope, is for you. In order for you to get Yrrl as a character, you kinda need to know everything that happened to the Draenei as a people, and for that you need to know a lot about the orcs. This is gonna be a really long history lesson. The skip is somewhere on the screen if you want to skip. I could talk for just an hour just about the orcs. So this lore section for this particular character is gonna be super condensed. Sorry if I missed something or something's not explained enough, but it's like a trilogy of books for the orcs. Long ago, on a world called Argus, lived a peaceful race known as the Exodar. They were curious and intelligent and were approached by a corrupted titan, a godlike being from the universe who offered prosperity, knowledge, and power. And the triumvirate, Velen, later known as the Prophet, Archimonde, later known as the Defiler, and Gul'dan, later known as the Deceiver, were asked to accept his gift. And Archimonde and Gul'dan accepted immediately, and Velen knew that Archimonde and Gul'dan wouldn't refuse, but he was like, give me a bit of time to think about this, and he went and consulted this crystal, the Atamal crystal, which has been with the Exodar since the dawn of time, and he voiced all his doubts and his concern for his people. And from the crystal, a being of pure light emerged, a Naru, Kure, but everyone calls him Kyur, so I'm just gonna say Kyur. And it showed him what would happen to his people if he accepted the gift. They would be twisted into demons and slaves to the Burning Legion. Sargeras was on a mission to eradicate all life in the universe, and Kyur offered Velen to take him and the people who would follow him to safety. And so on the longest day on the highest mountain, they were lifted into the sky onto a vessel, the Genedar, and they fled, just as everything was about to go down. And Gul'dan had always regarded Velen as a brother and was furious at this betrayal.
I will hunt you across the stars, traitor! Even if it takes 1,000 years!
And this happened. Each and every time Velen and his people settled a planet, Gul'dan found them. He would destroy the planet, turn its inhabitants over to the Legion, and Velen and his people would board the Genedar and flee until the vessel crashed on a new planet, and Kyur was badly injured, and so they couldn't really flee again. So this is it. They named the planet Draenor and lived there peacefully as the Draenei, the exiled ones. And Gul'dan was smart. This went on for thousands of years, and he was like, I gotta rethink my strategy here. So instead of arriving with a full force, horns blowing, Velen was not called the Prophet by his people for no reason. And so he had his lieutenant observe the beings that shared the planet, the orcs. And he observed their rituals, their habits, mating rituals, their beliefs, everything. So the vessel that crashed into the planet looked like a mountain to the orcs, and it drew the spirits of the departed to it. Kyur kept them company or something. And the orcs, they all were in separate clans, and they only got together twice a year at most for the Koshak festival, which was held by the mountain they named Oshagon, the Mountain of Spirits. The mountain glowed in the moonlight and it glinted in the sun, and it was so magical to the orcs. And the clans each had shaman, and they wandered the caverns of the mountain and brought pure water to the pool that was inside of it, unintentionally caring for dying Kyur. And they never really had any beef with the Draenei. They traded with them fur and leather for pots and cloths, like silk and stuff. And really, they didn't mind each other. The orcs lived peacefully in harmony with the land. They only hunted what they needed. And the shaman, when they asked the elements for aid, they asked politely and only if it's reasonable. Can you please not flood our settlement, water, please go this way, or wind, please carry our scent away from our game. And the most revered shaman was Ner'zhul of the Shadow Moon clan. He was visited by his mate, Yrrl in his dreams, and she said, "There is a snake in your midst, and you must destroy it before it can poison you all, the Draenei." Who was lowly Ner'zhul to question the ancestors, you know? That's what they believed in. Long story short, he got duped. The orcs militarized and used all their resources on weapons and armor and all that stuff, and they killed Draenei hunting parties, and they got more and more vicious as time went on, and it was all because Kil'jaeden appeared as Yrrl and told Ner'zhul, "Yeah, you gotta kill the Draenei for me." Like, he made them do the dirty work. At one point, Gul'dan became friendly with Kil'jaeden, and, you know, the elements, they saw this killing of the Draenei as unjust, and the shaman, all of a sudden, they couldn't heal anymore. They couldn't ask fire to burn their enemies. They couldn't do anything anymore. They were useless. And so Kil'jaeden taught Gul'dan the arts of the Fel magic, demonic energies, and Gul'dan became the first warlock. Gul'dan took on apprentices, and each clan's shaman was converted into warlocks. And the warlocks did not ask for aid, they commanded. And Velen actually figured out that it was Kil'jaeden behind all of this because of the warlocks. Because why else would a deeply spiritual people like the orcs forsake shamanism for something as vile as Fel magic? It didn't make any sense. And at this point, all these separate orc clans were asked to unite under one leader, the war chief, into one singular killing machine army, the Horde. And they kept killing, and they kept destroying everything the Draenei held dear, and they destroyed the Prophet's home, the Temple of Karabor, and renamed it the Black Temple. And then they had to siege the capital of the Draenei, which was Shatrath City. And so to make them even stronger and more vicious, and even more muscled and just basically on roids, Kil'jaeden commanded Gul'dan to wound his lieutenant Manoroth and give his blood to the Horde. And Grommash Hellscream was the first to offer himself up and drink, while Durotan of the Frostwolf clan forbade his clan from drinking. Because one, he had been warned by Ner'zhul in secret that it's gonna turn your people into slaves. If you drink this, it's gonna be bad news. And second, because he was against this whole war thing from the beginning. Like, the Draenei had been nothing but polite and peaceful and friendly and warm to the orcs. They never lifted a finger to them. It was just unreasonable to him. Like, why are they doing this? They're being puppets. They're puppets. The blood of Manoroth turned the orcs into these raging, bloodthirsty monsters. Their skin turned green, their bodies became even more muscled, their eyes started glowing red, and they just had the bloodlust running through them. And all of them stormed down into Shatrath City and annihilated it. And Velen knew that in order for Kil'jaeden to be satisfied, to stop hunting them, he had to believe that all the Draenei are dead. And for that to be true, nearly all Draenei had to die on the day that Shatrath was sieged. And Velen had managed to get a new working vessel, the Exodar, and a select few fled with him, while the rest remained and basically were lambs to the slaughter. So it would appear that pretty much the Draenei are there and they're just all being slaughtered by the orcs. And as that was happening, Kil'jaeden just watched, and yeah, he was satisfied. And he was pretty much like, "See ya, Gul'dan, peace out." And he left him there. Like, he had promised Gul'dan power, which was what he craved, and all of a sudden, Gul'dan was alone. And the use of Fel magic and using up all resources for war had drained the land they had once lived in harmony with. It was dying, it couldn't sustain crops anymore, it was corrupted, it was falling apart. And the orcs were going mad with this bloodlust, this demon blood in their veins, and they had nothing to fight anymore. And they would destroy themselves soon enough, Kil'jaeden thought. And Gul'dan was visited in his dreams by the corrupted guardian, Medivh, who told him that there is another world ripe for conquering, and told him how to make a portal from their world into his, the Dark Portal. So now you're probably like, gosh, that has nothing to do with Yrrl right now, you haven't even mentioned her. Well, that is because, get this, Blizzard is pulling a bamboozle on you. She's from an alternate universe of Draenor. So, Marty, we gotta go back. So I'll try to make this one a bit quicker, but here we go. So I told you about Grommash and the other orcs drinking the blood of Manaroth, making them slaves to the Burning Legion and kill Jaden and turning their eyes red and stuff. And Garrosh, a son of Grommash, was sick when they crossed through the Dark Portal into Azeroth, which is the world of the humans and the gnomes and the night elves and such. And Garrosh always resented his dad because later on in Azeroth, Gul'dan kind of betrayed the Horde and made them lose the war. And then all of the orcs were put into internment camps and were all lethargic and what's the point? You know, kind of like cattle to the humans. And it was pretty embarrassing for proud orcs to be like that. And Garrosh always hated Grommash, but then Thrall came along, Green Jesus. He united the orcs once again. He made them lose their lethargy, and Thrall and Grom found Manaroth. Grom sacrificed himself to kill Manaroth and free the orcs of their enslavement. And he was later on revered as a hero, and Thrall told Garrosh about all of that. And Garrosh was like, wow, I am so proud to be this guy's son, you know? And he's like, I'm gonna make the orcs great again. And Garrosh would go on to become war chief when Thrall went on a vision quest and, you know, to find himself. And Garrosh did some pretty nasty stuff like bomb Theramore, home of Lady Jaina Proudmoore, and he just made a bunch of questionable decisions. But so on. Garrosh was eventually led to a trial, and in that trial he managed to escape justice with the help of the bronze dragon Kairos Dormu, who was corrupted, and he time traveled back to Draenor, and he found his father before any of the blood stuff happened, and he told him, dude, you really shouldn't drink this stuff. Like, when Gul'dan offers you to drink this and become powerful, refuse. And he gave them schematics of advanced technology that he'd been developing in our current time. And he united the orcs into the Iron Horde, who weren't corrupted by the blood of Manaroth and had this advanced technology and everything, and they'd go through the Dark Portal again and win the war that way without Gul'dan messing them up. And that was Garrosh's plan until he got owned by Thrall.
You made me what I am! No. You chose your own destiny.
And so Yrrl, in this timeline, already lived through most of the Orcish Draenei War, the extinction, and she was raised by her older sister Samara in the Temple of Karabor. She was captured as a slave for the Iron Horde, and players rescued her. After leading a group of rangers and escaping capture and execution, she and the players found Ner'zhul and Hellscream observing the power of the Void. Together they had to fight the Void Lord while the orcs fled, and she found her sister Samara dying on a nearby ritual table. She swore to become stronger to protect her people after this. Yrrl confronted Ner'zhul once more, but he summoned the Dark Star, a dying Naru by the name of Kara. Velen gave his life essence to Kara to bring her back to the light. She then aided them in the construction of their garrison in Shadowmoon Valley. Yrrl is actually using the hammer of the Vindicator Marad, a fellow paladin.
It was my charge to see the refugees to safety, yet the horrors I had witnessed, the suffering. Despite all my vows, vengeance burned in my heart. Take the path through the tunnel. I'll rejoin you when I can.
We have no weapons.
The path is safe. The light will be with you. Now go! I will avenge the countless Draenei who had perished! I struck out to find the refugees. My heart fell. The path had not been safe. The light that I promised would be with them had forsaken them instead. Just as I had.
She and Vindicator Marad helped the human mage Khadgar and Durotan strike a blow at Warlord Blackhand.
It's over. No one could have survived that.
This vessel is set to blow. We should get to safety.
Bring the cannon around. We'll send both of these ships to the bottom of the sea.
Marad. How?
In the light, we are one.
What do you want, little girl?
Your head.
Cannon is in position. On your command.
Prepare to fire. Such arrogance to believe that you alone could defeat me.
Together.
Wait! They're alive!
I've got them.
You will all die!
Just you.
She also fought Garrosh and Nagrand until, Thrall kinda killed him. Gul'dan once again managed to rise to power and overpowered Grum, held him captive, and Yrrl, Durotan, Khadgar, the players, and they all banded together and Archimonde was defeated. And the Burning Legion's threat on this version of Draenor was over.
You don't think it's over?
Gul'dan and the devils that command him are not so easily banished. I fear this is only beginning.
If you ever need us, we will be here.
Until we meet again.
A great man once told me, in the light, we are one. The future is ours, and we will see Draenor rebuilt. Together.
Since Khadgar and the players left, however, Yrrl has become a light-bound Draenei, part of a fanatical group so dedicated to the light and spreading its influence that they use any means necessary to force people to follow it. Now, if you're really curious, I can tell you really quickly how the Draenei story wraps up. 3, 2, 1. So the Draenei crash land on Azeroth with their vessel. Again, they're not really good drivers. They find allies in the Alliance. They do some stuff, bada bing, bada boom. Illidan originally received his demonic powers from Sargeras, and later on the Skull of Gul'dan. So fast forward, Illidan does a lot of sketchy stuff, but for the greater good, because he saw what Sargeras was gonna do, and he was kinda like the man behind the scenes. He is killed at the Black Temple, and Maiev and her wardens take his body and preserve it in the Vault of the Wardens. While we do all the alternate reality stuff on Draenor, we defeat Archimonde, and the alternate reality Gul'dan is sent to our Azeroth and opens the tomb of Sargeras again. He then finds the corrupted warden, Cordana Felsong, and they both break into the Vault of the Wardens and steal Illidan's corpse. Gul'dan gets his comeuppance in the Nighthold. Illidan was to be a vessel for Sargeras to inhabit on Azeroth. And we go and defeat Kil'jaeden.
I was always envious of you. Your gift, your faith, your vision. I never believed that Sargeras could be stopped. Perhaps you will prove me wrong.
Everyone, get ready!
Is everyone all right?
In WoW lore, there's like a sentient titan being inside the planet. It's called the World Soul. And the reason why demons, if you kill them on Azeroth, technically they don't die, and Illidan was like a half-demon, you have to kill them within the Twisting Nether. Their souls are sent out back to Argus, and Argus, the World Soul, regenerates the demons so they come back later. So in order to stop demons from basically being immortal, we had to stop the Immortal Maker and kill Argus, the World Soul. And Sargeras tries to kill Azeroth's World Soul, but is imprisoned by his fellow Titans, and Illidan is his jailer now. And the Draenei story is wrapped up with Archimonde and Kil'jaeden defeated and Sargeras imprisoned. And Velen sighs in relief. Yrrl is voiced by Aaron Fitzgerald.
Faith is my mirror, but will is my weapon. Faith is my mirror, but will is my weapon. There is a time for prayer and a time for action. There is a time for prayer and a time for action. It is time to take a stand. It is time to take a stand! The Prophet's faith was not misplaced. The Prophet's faith was not misplaced. I'm not upset that I wasn't invited to join the Paladin class order, or that everyone jetted off to Argus without me. No, I'm not upset about that at all. It's not like after all our efforts on Draenor, the Legion just invaded anyway. Or that I was left behind while everyone joined the Army of Light to fight against my people's greatest enemy without me. Can you imagine if that happened? I'd be furious!
This is a reference to players as well as Khadgar, Illidan, Turalyon, and others taking on the Legion on the planet where it all started, Argus, and defeating both Argus the World Soul itself and Kil'jaeden. I think because Warlords of Draenor was so badly received, they also kinda didn't add Yrrl into the next expansion, the following expansion, which is Legion, and Paladins had a class order hall where all the Paladins of Azeroth were invited and hung out, and Yrrl wasn't invited.
Sometimes I lay awake at night and wonder, What did the orcs call Draenor before the Draenei named it? Makes you think.
In the book, Rise of the Horde, it is explained that the orcs really didn't have a word for Draenor. They simply called it the world.
Look, I appreciate that the Alliance helped us fight the Iron Horde. I really do. But housing prices in Shadowmoon Valley are skyrocketing, and that garrison is sitting on prime real estate.
I don't think anyone visits their garrison anymore. By choice.
Am I dedicated to the protection of my allies? Or do I bring retribution to our enemies? Honestly, I'm not that into labels.
Although Yrrl is kind of marketed as a retribution paladin, none of her abilities, except for in name, really remind me personally of a retribution paladin. Her playstyle just doesn't really reflect that of a red paladin in WoW, because it's very slow and deliberate, whereas a retribution paladin in WoW, if you get enough haste, you just basically roll your head on the keyboard.
Have you ever been to Farallon? He's so beautiful. I pity anyone who has never been able to travel there. What a cruel fate it would be to hear about its wonders without ever having a chance to see it with your own eyes. Oh, well, anyway, I will send you a selfie next time I'm there.
Farallon was teased for Warlords of Draenor, but it never made it into the game. And people are really interested in seeing Farallon, but they scrapped it. And now she's teasing us.
You want to know what my dark secret is? I see dead people. Kidding. About that being my secret, that is. We Draenei see dead people all the time.
Seeing dead people all the time is a reference, of course, to the Sixth Sense, but also in-game, Akendune, the Draenei City of the Dead, they just walk around. Nowadays, they really just do walk around all the time, just undead, chillin'. Yrrl was the first hero to sadly not have an animated login screen.
Do you require the aid of a wizard?
The dragon hungers.
Instead, they opted to now go for the trend of just displaying the splash art for the hero. Yrrl's hammer is the Hammer of the Naru, and you can actually acquire it in-game from Gruul in Gruul's lair. There really isn't much to Yrrl because she doesn't have that much lore, but here are some Draenei phrase translations.
Ardonsha kai Kaldos. In the light we triumph. Arcanon Poros. Chronakai Christor. The prophet still guides us. Open your heart to the light. The Naru have not forgotten us. Remain vigilant. Be kind to those less fortunate. Remember the lessons of the past.
Yrrl is a solo lane monster. Well, she was. Now she's kind of like, I don't know. She's still pretty good in the solo lane. I like her. I like playing her. She's pretty chill. She is kind of medium difficulty, I would say. I'd put her at a medium because she's tanky, but she's not a tank. She does a bit of damage, but she's not an assassin. She's a nuisance pretty much. You go into their backline, you harass them, and you get out. And if played well, a good Yrrl is really hard to kill. Her trait is Divine Purpose. Activate to instantly charge Yrrl's next basic ability at no mana cost. Yrrl's basic abilities charge up over 1.5 seconds, increasing in effectiveness, but reducing Yrrl's movement speed by 25%. Yrrl's thing as a character in HOTS is that all of her abilities can be charged up, and at maximum charge, they either do something different or they just have increased potency. Divine Purpose makes the ability cast at full charge and cost no mana. You can use it while mounted, which little tip if you go for the heal talent at level 4, You can use Divine Purpose while mounted, so while you're on the run, you know, and you're mounted, you can just heal someone up real quick. But also, tip, the cooldown of the ability doesn't tick down if it is active, so you have to use an ability for the cooldown to start. Her Q is Vindication. Unleash holy energy around Yrrl, dealing 42 damage to nearby enemies and healing her for 96. Charging up this ability increases its damage up to 140 and healing up to 320. Now the thing is with charging her abilities is that you need to cast it and then hit the button again for the ability to go off. You can't, for some reason, you cannot hold down the button for it to charge and then release to make the ability go off. You have to click twice. I don't know. Is the technology there yet? I don't know. The area of it is really confusing. Like the first few times you play Yrrl, you think the area, you're doing area healing. The area is for the damage and the healing is just for you. So as a healer main, it's kind of confusing at some points. Honestly, I don't use the heal very much because it heals for very little. It's just while you're in lane, while you're going to take a camp or something, just to top you off a little bit. But it's not that much. In a team fight, I wouldn't rely on the healing. Just does too little, too late. I just use it pretty much out of lane exclusively, or when I'm really desperate, or if I can use the Q damage to kill someone. Her auto attacks hit pretty hard, but also are very slow. But I just WE auto attack weave with Yrrl, or toss in a Q so I can get an extra auto attack. Because at level 16 there's a talent that amplifies your auto attack damage, but her W is Righteous Hammer. Swing Yrrl's hammer, dealing 38 damage to enemies in front of her and knocking them away. Charging up this ability increases its knockback distance and damage up to 125. Enemies hit at maximum charge are stunned for 0.75 seconds. This is an AoE knockback swoosh stun if you use maximum charge. Think of it as Syndra's Orb. It's that kind of a knockback stun. Most of the time I don't charge it up in plain sight, because something I forgot to mention is that Yrrl can be rooted, stunned, silenced, etc. out of all of her charges. So if you go in and people see you charging your Righteous Hammer or your Avenging Wrath, which is your E ability coming up, they can just stun you or silence you or something or knock you back, anything out of it. She's not unstoppable during these charges. Choose to charge up an ability in plain sight. There's a good chance you're gonna lose it, and then you're just standing there with an ability on cooldown and nothing happening. So Righteous Hammer I like to use Divine Purpose for, to make it instant, so people don't see it coming. Her E is Avenging Wrath. Leap to a location, dealing 225 damage to enemies in an area and slowing them by 50% for 1 second. Charging up this ability increases its range. This can go over terrain, so you can use it as an engage, as an escape. I mostly use it point blank for the slow because at launch, Yrrl was kind of meh, but now they buffed its damage and now it's really good wave clear. Now it actually does some hero damage. So this is my main damaging ability when I'm playing Yrrl, just trying to land as many Avenging Wraths on people as I can. Note that only the range increases as you charge up, so you don't even need to fully charge this ability to do maximum amounts of damage. It's just, you can just hit your E, hit it again, don't even let it charge up, and you still do the damage. Her first heroic is Ardent Defender. Surround Yrrl in a barrier for 3 seconds, absorbing all damage taken and healing her for 50% of the damage received. This is the I'm going in, Leroy! Ult, when the enemy team is just unloading everything into you and trying to blast your team into orbit, and you're in the middle of them. You can use Ardent Defender and just heal back up to full health pretty much. Unless the enemy team is smart, of course, and they stop attacking you. But usually I try to get as many, like if there's a Gul'dan or a Nasibo or something, I try to get as many dots on me as possible, or I stand in a Jaina Blizzard if they decide to just lay off and not attack me, to get at least a little bit of healing out of it, a little bit of value. I think this is the most picked Yrrl ult, because you're not chained to an area. You can move around with it. It's a lifesaver. It makes you almost unkillable, but it has like a 2-minute cooldown. So use it wisely. Her second heroic is Sacred Ground. Yrrl sanctifies the ground around her, gaining 50 armor until she leaves the area. This is for maps where you need to hold an objective. The Sky Temple, Volskaya, Braxis. No, see, they banned Yrrl. I wonder why. This heroic is also kind of misleading. It only gives Yrrl armor. It doesn't contribute anything else to anyone else on the team. It's just for Yrrl only, and the cooldown also ticks down while it is active. So you can really just indefinitely stay in the area and then cast another one. It doesn't disappear at all until you leave the area, until someone forces you out of it. It's just, but most of the time people go for Ardent Defender because Sacred Ground, you're locked into that area. Once you put it down, you gotta stay in there if you want to get value out of it. And that's where the downfall comes in. And also, if you're already behind, there's no way you can hold a point, like on Volskaya or something. Then there's no point in picking it if you're already behind. You're not gonna be able to get on the point, to hold the point. So just go with Ardent Defender. So for Yrrl talents, this is the build I usually run with because I like to pretend I'm a healer and I like to off-heal on Yrrl. So at level 1 I go for Maraud's Insight, at level 4 Gift of the Naru to heal my allied heroes and just see if I can out-heal our main healer, because Yrrl does a lot of healing. At level 7 I like to go for Divine Steed because an instant mount and 60% movement speed that decays over 3 seconds. You just zoom from lane to lane, and it also gives you a good escape or a good chase tool unless they keep hitting you. But you still gain the 60% decaying movement speed even if you get dismounted. So you just dash for a little bit. At level 10, Ardent Defender. At level 13, I like to go for Repentance just to slow them down even more and hit even more ease. Oh, it's so good. It's so. At level 16, Holy Wrath, because I actually like doing some damage. Because in the early game, your damage, you're gonna sort of feel like you're hitting like a wet noodle. It's kind of medium hard. It's not Stukov hard. So with Holy Wrath, you get 20% increased damage that splashes. So then I weave in an E auto attack. I get the 20% extra damage and I splash to every target. And then I do a Q, and then again I get the 20% extra damage and I splash. So in a team fight, this can actually dish out a ton of damage and it's great. I love it. But if we really are desperate for an off healer, if your healer is not doing their job, or I don't know, they just have too much damage on the enemy team that the healer can't even keep up, I go for a Divine Favor just because then I rotate through all of my abilities. Bam, bam, bam. I won't even try to hit anything just so I can get the cooldown reduction of Divine Purpose and then cast Divine Purpose to heal someone. So that's how I play Yrrl as an off healer. It actually kind of works. And at level 20, I go for Seraphim most of the time. 10-second cooldown, become unstoppable for 2 seconds. I mean, that's Yrrl's ultimate downfall, is being able to be stunned or silenced or knocked back, just interrupted out of all of your charges, all of your abilities, and having the unstoppable at level 20 negates that. If you have no honor, you can go for Bubble Hearth. Again, you have no honor if you do this. It's kind of like Chromie Spy By, which was removed. After 1 second, you become invulnerable and you cast Hearthstone, and you cannot cancel that.
Oh! Oh! Does that play the game? Oh! What's that play the fucking game, mate? Oi!
Yrrl has no honor. And you pretty much let everyone else on your team die and you just go back to your base. That's what you're doing. You have no honor. Sometimes I go for Word of Glory, but really Seraphim. Pretty much always. And that's it. that is everything you needed to know about Yrrl, which wasn't very much because she doesn't have a lot of lore. So I really taught you more about Neazul, Inc. soon, TM, BlizzCon 2020. But that's it. And that is Yrrl. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it somewhat and found it informative. More detailed stuff in the description below. Have some Yrrl clips. Enjoy. And I'll see you in the Nexus.
Choose, please rate the hero you played. Excellent. Next question. Happy Yrrel Day. Hope you really like it. Get it? Get it? Yrrel? Yrrel-y? Well, what the fuck is that mount? Get that shit off my screen. That's not a Zergling.
That was the sound of me internally dying. A moment of silence.
You forgot your push to talk there for that.
No, it was a moment of silence. The sound of me dying.
Your level 4 talent? It can't heal you anyway, I thought. I thought her level 4 talent was strictly other people.
I'm healing you.
Yeah, why does that suck?
I mean, it sucks that it targets one person.
Here, have an oil slick.
What the fuck did I just talk
Or not.
I didn't mean to do that. Gotta rescue someone. Oh, it's you!
Oh, I think you mean it. I think you mean follow up on my excellent tactical call.
Shabate.
Yeah. This is where I wanted to be, Garage. Right here, smacking this, squishing this bug. This is my calling, bitch. Oh god. Oh, I could have left any time I wanted, and I just... It went straight to my head. Oh, I saw that one. You were up in the air, and then you got stunned, so it still got cancelled. Hey, look! They want to fuck with me. Oh, God. Oh, God! They still want some. It was an ambush. Come on, Sabro, get that bitch. Yes! Oh, I took him. Yep.
Goodbye!
Wow, everyone finished their quest, I see.
So seed may grow.
I didn't see it.
The holy escape.
There's no way you can take stitches. Oh! Punch him!
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Talento! Talento!
Oh no. How awful.
Until the end.
Can you attack this real quick?
Oh my fucking god, really? You're a reptile and you need help?
Okay.
Just
okay.
switch specs!
Got it.
Yeah, I'm here now! Do you see the huge fucking plant monstrosity banging on that shit? Boom! Half health! Okay, get him off me. Peel with your hammer! Leap strike! Oh, I got haymakered! Woo! Now I'm over here! Heal me, heal me! Oh, protected. Oh, shit. I'm alive. Oh no. My goat friend got caught. I'm just a gear! So clutch. The god. The dear god. Literally. Oh. Oh! Oh, they all died! Oh, they all died except Lily! What? This is the worst timeline.
What's up? I'll vote for you.
Epic. Yeah. Hello?
I got you, boo!
Hello? You got me though? I believed you! Oh my god, are you dead too? By the way? Hiccup when you die. Operation Hidden Deer. Crouching goat hidden deer. I'm going in. No, I gotta get away from guillotine though. Oh. Not like this, please. I'm just a deer. I
What was that?
Well, you told that guy to back the fuck up.
I launched him into oblivion. Into the void. I'm gonna die.
Yeah, I could have told you that. You're Yrrl. You're Yurrl. You've got to go back to the house, Yrrl.
Yurrl!
Remain vigilant.
Yurrl, no!
Yurrl's too dangerous.
Yurrl, the fake in the house.
Challenge me if you dare. I will hold the line. This ends here.